Before the Skoda Slavia, there was one car in India that showed us what German build quality meant and offered us at an affordable price. And of course, I'm talking about the Skoda Rapid. The Skoda Rapid was sold from 2011 till 2021 in India. It was based on the Volkswagen Vento platform. It was a locally sourced platform specially made for Indian market. At starting, it was sold with a 1.6 liter MPI petrol engine. But today what we have over here is the diesel pocket rocket, something that Volkswagen and the Skoda group knew well what the Indians wanted. And this over here is the 1.5 liter TDI turbo diesel engine. So as I mentioned earlier, this particular engine is a 1.5 liter TDI, that is a turbo diesel engine. The earlier versions of this engine put out a max output of 105 horsepower, but the later engines, as they got a bigger turbo, especially when the facelift of this came. Now this particular version, as you all can see, is the facelifted version. This has an output, max output of 110 horsepower at 4000 RPM. And also a colossal 250 Newton meters of torque, which paired with the manual 5-speed gearbox launches this car from 0 to 100 in under 9 seconds. Now at the front, as you all can see, this is a completely blacked out de-chromed grille. The signature vertical slats that the Skodas, typically almost all the Skodas have in today's time. The chrome, it's the new Skoda. It's the new Skoda logo. The earlier versions of it had got the silver and green logo, but this is the completely chromed out and black background new Skoda logo that was introduced when this new facelifted Skoda Rapid was unveiled in India. At the bottom, as you all can see, this strip that runs from between the two fog lamps is also de-chromed totally. It is in gloss black. In a day and age where most of the vehicles are forced to be below 4 meters of length due to the 4 meter law, this vehicle is 4.4 meters in length. I mean, come on. This vehicle stands out from the crowd being more than 4 meters long, and due to which the legroom inside is astonishingly good. So let's take a much closer look at the side styling of the Skoda Rapid. So the door handle, as you all can see, has a chrome strip running above it, not only at the front but also at the back. Now those alloy wheels are 16 inches de-chromed, completely gloss blacked alloy wheels, and they really do look very well proportionate on this vehicle. The tires, if you go to see, the tires are 205 section tires, and those are really wide tires because, as I've said earlier, due to the 4 meter law, the tires of those cars also shrink down below to 200 millimeters. So that being a 205 section tire, it is a good thing. So talking about the rear styling of the Skoda Rapid, over here you have halogen turn indicators paired with a halogen tail lamp. On top you have a black boot lip spoiler, which looks really nice on this vehicle, especially contrast to the white paint that you have on the Skoda Rapid over here. Over here you have the Skoda logo. As I said earlier, just like at the front, you have the Skoda badge over here surrounded with the chrome surrounding and with the black background. Over here the nameplate of the model, the Skoda Rapid, a keyhole, and also a camera feed that's shown on the infotainment system inside. At the bottom you have 1, 2 and 3 parking sensors, which really do work well considering the length of this vehicle being 4.4 meters in length, but it really helps in judging where the obstacles are. Talking about the bottom of the boot, you have a chrome strip that runs across the whole width of the rear boot, which gives it a premium quotient. So talking about the boot of the Skoda Rapid, now I know you all must be wondering where I am, but here I am. So this boot of the Skoda Rapid is around 460 liters of boot space, which is a massive boot space compared to the recent sedans that you get in the market. In the boot well, in the storage over here, you have a you have a 14-inch spare wheel, which is a 175 section, which is a bit narrower compared to the actual tires that you get on the Skoda Rapid. But hey, come on, that's a step. You won't be using it that often, so you can forgive it a bit, because the engine is a gem of an engine and you'll forget each and every con that this vehicle has. So let's get into the inside of the vehicle to check out the interiors. So talking about the interior styling of the Skoda Rapid over here now, I'll be honest with you, the interiors are not that modern, because this interior at a whole was designed in 2011, and at that time this car was this interior did feel modern. But in today's time, in 2025, this interior is kind of basic, kind of not modern, I'd say, but still it has held up really well compared to the age of this vehicle now. Yeah, these are hard plastics, but these are very durable, built to last plastics, because I've seen 2011 Skodas hold up really well to all sorts of rough use compared to compared to similar plastics used by other brands in the same price spectrum. So kudos to Skoda for making such good interiors. Now the interior layout of this vehicle is interesting, because you have 1, 2, 3, 4 AC vents. You have your blower controls over here. Yeah, these are not dual zone climate controls, but these are only 2-zone climate controls. But it does have automatic AC. Also, along with that, you have also your other modes, like where you want the AC direction to be at your face, at your feet, etc. All the basic stuff. The mirror over here, the rear mirror you have, it is a auto dimming IRVM. That's a good thing to have over here. Now you have your dome lights, your interior light switches over here. You have a glass for the sun visor over here, and I don't think so. Yeah, there is no glass for no mirror for the driver side sun visor, but you have 1, 2, 3, 4 of the grab handles in this vehicle. Talking about the infotainment system, yeah, this is a kind of an old school infotainment system that not only the Skodas but also the VW group used in India, in the Vento or in the other older similar age models. Right now the interiors are the infotainment systems are far more better compared to what you have over here, but still compared to the age, it's acceptable. The Bluetooth works really nice. The audio system is really good. It's very punchy, it's very basic. You have your radio, media, phone, your applications and your setup controls over here. You have your changing the tracks and the volume modes over here, and a USB A type slot over here, and also a aux and an SD card reader. That's interesting, because I don't know how many people actually use this SD card readers. Personally, I did not, but still it's good to have a feature. Talking about the dials over here, the dials, I'd say they're not interesting, but they are functional. They're very functional. The red line is up to 5,000 RPM. As I said, this is a diesel engine. The speedometer goes all the way to 240 kilometers per hour. I really don't know the top speed. It might be around 200 to 180 kilometer per hour, but it goes up to 240. Not many cars go up to 240, I'd say. Talking about the steering wheel, it's a nice leather wrapped steering wheel. Yeah, it's a bit shiny, because as I said, this is a 2018 car. I did not mention this earlier. This is a 2018 car. This is the style variant. This is the sub top variant of it. So compared to its age, it's aged pretty well. There are kind of white stitching on the steering. The steering controls to change the media track and to increase or decrease the volume, and also to answer and then decline calls. Your headlight stalks to turn on the high beam and the low beam, and the turn indicators are over here. Your wiper controls are over here. Your turning on the headlight controls are over here, because Germans, they like to keep things separate, and this car also has automatic headlights, which is good to have, which is a good to have feature. Yeah. And talking about the other amenities over here, you have a armrest. which is a single piece fold down armrest and also doubles as a storage cabin. You have a manual handbrake. The gear lever is actually a very nice gear lever. It's a 5-speed gear lever, but the shifts are short and sweet. And for reverse, you push it down and then put it into reverse. So yeah, that's the reverse mechanism, and also it has a nice silver finish around the gear selector. The interiors, now if I go to talk about the colors, they are black and beige, and the contrast, personally, I don't know, many people might agree, some people won't, but for me personally, black and beige interiors kind of hits the spot, because it's a nice blend and contrast between a dark and a lighter color. It overall makes the car feel more airy and spacious than it actually is. Talking about the rear styling of the Skoda Rapid, now the front driving seat is set to my driving position, and I have a really good amount of knee room and leg room back here, and I can also tuck my feet underneath the front seat pretty well, because the seat is kind of raised up. But still, even if the seat is lowered, you have a space to tuck your feet underneath. You have a hook and a height adjustable seat belt for the driver and the co-driver seats. You have two of the storage, two of the hanging hooks. You have a interior light over here, two of them, and two grab rails for the passengers. Now you have a single piece fold down armrest. Yeah, it doesn't have cup holders. There is a lack of cup holders in this vehicle at the back especially, but compared to the other vehicles, you do not get a cup holder, but it is a pretty nice place to rest yourself, to rest your hand, especially if you're traveling on longer journeys. It really helps, it really aids in your overall comfort. Along with that, you also get Skoda branded pillows, so that you can have a nice nap at the back of the Skoda Rapid. Just kidding. At the back also you have sun blinds that Skoda offers. Not only, and the good thing about this is that the blinds are not only for your glass areas, for your windows, but also for your rear quarter glass, so you can absolutely make sure you have good privacy and not minimal amount of sunlight enters into your rear cabin, to aid in the overall comfort of the rear passengers, and also to keep the cabin cooler compared to at the front, because you do not get sun blinds at the front, safety reasons. And you also get, to aid comfort, you also get air conditioning, especially to be particular, two of them for both of the passengers, and also you get a cup holder, a single cup holder at the bottom, and also a USB style charging outlet. Talking about the seat, they're scooped out seat backs. You can store small paperworks and stuff over here. They are scooped out seats, so that's a practical touch, I'd say. The storage cabin back over here is not that big. You can fit 1 liter, about a 1 liter bottle, a 500 ml bottle easily over here, but not bigger than that, because they are pretty shallow, not as wide as you get in the front. So talking about the amenities, the headrest over here is a nice supportive headrest. You can adjust the headrest depending on your height. And talking about height, I am 5'8". Again, the headroom over here is pretty generous. As you can see, there is this much of space available, so taller occupants might be reasonably comfortable back here, because me being a 5'8" guy, I am really comfortable. Taller occupants like 6-footers can squeeze in. They will be comfortable, but not as comfortable as a 5'8" guy. One more thing I wanted to share with you all is that all the windows in this vehicle, and I think most of the Skoda and VW cars, are one touch up down windows. As you can see, the windows fold with only one touch, and same thing for the up mechanism. It's a one touch up and down mechanism. Enough of the interiors, and now let's get to driving the Skoda Rapid Diesel. So driving the Skoda Rapid 1.5 liter TDI turbo diesel ignition. Now to start with this engine, 110 horsepower, 250 Newton meters of torque, does 0 to 100 in 10.3 seconds to 11 seconds depending on the gearbox you have. I feel you will get the quicker times when you will be in the manual gearbox, because the thing is, the DHE gearbox, the dual clutch transmission that was there in this vehicle, it was actually kind of infamous to bogging down. Okay, it used to bog down a lot. And if you want to launch the vehicle in the DHE in the DHE gearbox, you couldn't really you couldn't really hold on to the revs, to higher revs, because if you try to launch that vehicle in the DHG gearbox, it would only rev till 1500 RPM till 2000 RPM only, whereas in the manual gearbox you could bring it till your heart's content. So that was a plus point to the gearbox. And secondly, the gearbox, the manual gearbox, the mileage of the manual gearbox was bit higher compared to the DHG gearbox, because the whole control of shifting the gears, the shifting when and where to shift the gears is in your control. So it kind of helps in the overall increased mileage you get in this vehicle. But and the third point that is there to supports the manual transmission than the DHG transmission is that it is really fun to shift gears, because it isn't clunky. Okay, it is really smooth to start with, to shift the gears, because the gears do not have that long of a throw compared to the manual gearboxes in the market. And secondly, the gearboxes are short, they are slick, and you get a good solid feel when you slot the shifts into gear, because the thing is, this gearbox was is shared with many of the other VW and Skoda cars, including even the Vento, and in the Vento gearbox, it is really smooth. And if you talk about the platform, the architecture, it is the MQB-AO platform. It is on this platform, the Skoda Slavia, the Volkswagen Virtus, the Vento, and the Rapid. These are the vehicles that are based on that platform. This platform is actually shared in between the companies. And also not only them, including the brands that the VW group owns, like Seat, etc. They share these architectures within this. But the good thing about this is that this architecture was built in India. It was locally manufactured, which meant that it suited the Indian conditions really well compared to other vehicles. The Vento and the Rapid, they were really built for India. Like they were unlike the other models like the Jetta or the Super, which catered mostly to the European audience. This was a local beast, I'd say. This engine puts out 110 horsepower, as I said earlier. The earlier versions of it, they were putting out 105 horses. Now, during the facelift of this is the facelifted version, as you all can see as you all have seen in the video earlier. So this facelift got not only just a facelift, but the turbo was the turbochargers. It is a single turbo. The turbocharger is a bit bigger in size compared to the first Rapid, which got a smaller turbocharger, which meant that this bumped up the horsepower by 5 horsepower from 105 to 110, which won't seem that big of a significant upgrade, but bigger is always better, right? As you all might have heard the saying goes. So it increased the horsepower, and in generally, even this horsepower and also the first Rapid that came with 105 horses, these engines were punchy. They had a good low end torque. They had a good low end punch, because the peak horsepower in this vehicle you get is from 400 RPMs, but the torque you get from this engine is between 2 to 3000 RPM, and this is where the low end and the mid range power really kicks in when you're in that rev range, because that rev band, when you're in that rev band, okay, the engine just pulls. It pulls, and it pulls really smoothly. And also driving on highways, this engine, it's completely relaxed. You can do hours and hours of mileage on this vehicle, and it just won't complain. And personally, I've spoken to the owner of this vehicle, and I personally specifically asked the owner like how the engine is there, are there any complaints, or like what is the reliability aspect of it. And he's like, there are no complaints of this engine at all. So this is a really smooth engine. It's a tank of an engine. It's built to last. Not only this, even the Vento and all, those engines were like built to last. And man, every time I drive these engines, even the Vento, they're just better compared to all other engines in the market. So if you go to talk about the handling of it, the suspension is kind of on the stiff side, as you all might have guessed, okay, but it is for the betterment of it, because being stiff suspension in turn contributes to the better handling of the overall handling of the vehicle. It stays relatively flat in the bends. It doesn't lean that much compared to, for example, the competition like the Honda City. It is kind of like the Honda City that was sold during this time, during when the Skoda Rapid was being sold. It had a higher ground clearance. It had the body was a little bit higher, so that meant that it had a body roll much more. The body roll was felt a little bit more compared to the Vento and the Skoda Rapid. So the handling is really good on this vehicle. I personally really do like the stiff suspension. It absorbs the smaller bumps, but the bigger bumps it kind of crashes into it. But the smaller bumps it really softens the kick from it, and it just like you just ride over the bumps. Okay, it's not like you stay completely what we say, it is not like you are completely not you are completely cocooned from the bumps. As you all can see in the camera is also shaking because there are bumps, there are undulations in the road. So but the smaller bumps it absorbs them. It's pretty sweet. I have no complaints about it. It gets the job done. So talking about the fuel efficiency, this being a diesel, well, of course it will be good, and I'm happy to report it is really good. It averages around 20 to 21 km per liter if you're driving it lethargically. If you're driving it in a soft, smooth pace, you're not thrashing the vehicle, it will return you a good mileage. Okay. If you give it the beans, if you ring it, yes, it will drop. As I've said in my other videos also, it will drop to 19, 18, but still you will get a good mileage out of it. Nevertheless, it is really good. It is a very fuel efficient engine, because as I said earlier, this engine was specifically developed by VW and Skoda combined for the Indian market, for the Indian consumers. So they have kept that aspect in mind, because we Indians, we love to have vehicles in good mileage, that have a good mileage. So with regards to that, it is a very fuel efficient vehicle, I'd say. So there's not much to talk about, as I've covered most of the aspects. So yeah, that's it. That's the video. So please do like, share and subscribe if you have liked the video, and please leave a comment below which vehicles y'all want next, or which or if I have done any mistake in telling you the facts of the vehicle, or anything y'all might feel. Please leave a comment below. Thank you.